Why do Japanese elders stay strong, balanced, and pain-free well into their 80s and 90s, while most of the world begins to decline in their 60s? The shocking answer isn't genetics or miracle pills. It's 6 simple moves anyone can do in just minutes a day. And once you see them, you'll never look at aging the same way again. Japan isn't just home to the oldest people on Earth, it's home to the healthiest. Over 95,000 Japanese men and women are still thriving past 100, living independently, walking on their own, and staying mentally sharp. Compare that to much of the world, where life after 65 often means endless doctor visits, daily pills, and a slow loss of independence. So what's their real secret? It's not wealth, and it's not even perfect genetics. The truth goes back to 1928, when Japan introduced a nationwide morning ritual. Every single day, millions gather to perform a simple set of movements. No heavy weights, no gyms, no high-impact cardio. Just gentle postures synced with music, taking less than 15 minutes. And here's the part that will surprise you. This system has been proven effective for nearly 100 years across an entire nation. It isn't a fitness fad, it's a cultural habit that's quietly kept Japan's elders strong, mobile, and pain-free, while the rest of the world looks for quick fixes. But what exactly are these movements, and why are they so powerful? Let's break them down one by one, starting with the foundation. The very first movement is called shikodachi, literally translated as the sumo stance. And trust me, this one movement alone has kept generations of Japanese athletes, martial artists, and even elders strong and mobile long past the age when most people start losing their independence. At first glance, it might just look like a wide-leg squat, but it's much more than that. Shikodachi has its roots in the ancient Japanese sport of sumo, practiced for over 1,500 years. Sumo wrestlers who weigh hundreds of pounds yet move with surprising agility have relied on this stance to build incredible leg strength, balance, and hip stability. And while you and I aren't training to step into the sumo ring, the same posture can help us unlock muscles that modern life has put to sleep. Here's how it works. Start by placing your feet about twice shoulder width apart, toes angled slightly outward. From here, lower your hips as if you're sitting down between your legs. Keep your chest tall, your back straight, and rest your hands on your thighs for support if needed. It might feel simple, but don't underestimate it. Biomechanical studies show that shikodachi actually activates more muscle fibers in your legs than a conventional squat. Why? Because the wide stance forces your quadriceps, glutes, and inner thighs to fire at the same time. These are the exact muscles you need to get up from a chair without struggling, climb a flight of stairs with ease, and keep your balance when you hit uneven ground. In other words, it strengthens the muscles that determine whether you stay independent as you age or start relying on others for help. But the real magic lies in your hips. As we age, hours of sitting slowly tighten the hips, pulling the pelvis out of alignment. This cascade creates back pain, knee pain, and the kind of stiff, shuffling walk that instantly makes someone look old. Shikodachi works directly against this process by reopening the hips, restoring mobility, and retraining the body to move the way it was designed to. At first, you only need to hold shikodachi for 20 to 30 seconds. Don't force it. Your body will adapt naturally. If balance is an issue, place a sturdy chair nearby for support. The key is keeping your spine neutral. Don't let your lower back arch, or the posture loses its benefits. With consistent practice, you can build up to 1 or 2 minutes. And just to put things in perspective, professional sumo wrestlers are known to hold shikodachi for 15 to 20 minutes straight. Of course, you don't need to reach that level. We're not training for combat. We're training for life, for mobility, strength, and freedom in the years ahead. Even just 1 minute a day can start rebuilding the foundation of your lower body. And once that foundation is in place, the Japanese add something even more fascinating. A stance designed to sharpen your balance and stability, 2 things that silently decline after age 50. That's where the next movement comes in, the elegant but surprisingly challenging cat stance. If shikodachi gives you the raw strength of a sumo wrestler, the next movement sharpens something even more crucial as we age: balance. It's called nekoashi dachi, or the cat stance, and it comes directly from the world of traditional karate. The name itself says it all. Imagine a cat crouched low, its weight shifted onto its back legs, the front paw barely touching the ground, light, agile, ready to spring into action at any second. That's exactly what this stance trains your body to do. Stay alert, stable, and prepared for movement, even when the world under your feet isn't stable. Here's how it works. Step 1 foot forward, but instead of planting it flat, let only the ball of your foot touch the floor, just like a cat testing the ground with its paw. Your back leg carries about 70% of your weight, firmly rooted into the floor. Both knees stay slightly bent, your hips facing forward and your chest lifted. At first it feels awkward, unsteady, even frustrating. But that's exactly the point. Nekowashi Dachi forces your stabilizer muscles to wake up. These are the small, often neglected muscles in your ankles, hips, and deep core that quietly keep you from falling. Modern life weakens them. We walk on flat pavement, wear cushioned shoes, and sit for hours, all of which dull the body's natural balance systems. But in this stance, every one of those forgotten muscles has to fire at once. Your feet grip the floor, your core stabilizes, your hips adjust in tiny invisible ways to keep you steady. And here's why that matters. Falls are the #1 threat to independence after 60. One slip can change someone's life forever. Nekowashi Dachi is like anti-fall training, restoring the natural reflexes that keep you steady on stairs, uneven ground, or when life throws you off balance. And it doesn't stop at the ankles and hips. This stance also reactivates the intrinsic muscles of your feet, the small, hidden fibers that form your arch and give your step spring. For most people, years of stiff shoes and flat surfaces have let these muscles atrophy. That's why so many older adults complain of foot pain, collapsed arches, or unsteady steps. Nekowashi Dachi brings them back to life. So, how do you start? Begin by holding the stance for just 20 to 30 seconds per side, using a chair or wall for support if needed. As you improve, you can progress in 2 powerful ways. Add small weight shifts, gently transferring pressure between the front and back leg while maintaining posture. Or move your arms slowly, forcing your core to stabilize against the shifting weight. These small adjustments skyrocket the challenge without ever risking injury. Over time, you'll notice not just better balance, but more confidence in every step you take. And here's where it gets interesting. While Shikodachi builds your strength and Nekowashi Dachi restores your balance, neither will keep you standing tall if your posture collapses. That's why the Japanese don't stop here. Their next movement directly attacks the #1 sign of aging, hunched shoulders and a bent spine. And it all begins with the centuries-old practice of Seiza, the posture reset. Strength and balance mean nothing if your posture collapses, because once your shoulders round and your spine curves forward, your body begins to work against itself. That's why the Japanese practice something so simple yet so powerful. It's called Seiza, which translates to proper sitting. Seiza has been part of Japanese culture for centuries. During tea ceremonies, family gatherings, and meditation, people would kneel gracefully in this posture. But what looks like a polite form of sitting is actually a brilliant exercise that resets your posture from the ground up. Here's how it works. Start by kneeling on the floor with your knees together, then fold your feet so the tops press flat against the ground, toes pointing backward. Slowly lower your hips so you're sitting on your heels with your spine naturally upright. Not forced, not stiff, just tall and balanced. Now, this might not sound like much, but here's what's really happening under the surface. Seiza deeply stretches your quadriceps and hip flexors, the exact muscles that tighten after years of sitting in chairs. And when those muscles shorten, they tilt your pelvis forward, pulling your spine into that hunched-over posture we often associate with aging. Seiza gently undoes that damage. But there's more. Unlike sitting in a chair, where your back muscles switch off, Seiza requires your core and spine stabilizers to stay active the entire time. Think of it like a gentle strength workout for the muscles that keep you tall and upright. Over time, this strengthens the very foundation of your posture, making you look and feel younger. Of course, Seiza can feel intense if you're not used to it, especially on the knees. That's why you can start by placing a firm cushion or yoga block between your hips and heels. Even with support, your body gets the same benefits without the strain. Begin with just 30 seconds to a minute, and as your flexibility improves, build up to 3 to 5 minutes. And here's the best part. You don't have to carve out exercise time for it. You can practice Seiza while reading, meditating, or even watching TV. It's a posture, not a workout, and that makes it incredibly easy to weave into daily life. Think about it this way. While most people fight aging by pulling their shoulders back or forcing themselves to sit up straight, the Japanese discovered the real secret decades ago. True posture doesn't start at the shoulders, it starts in the hips. Fix the hips and the spine takes care of itself. And once the body learns to hold itself upright again, the Japanese add another layer, one that not only strengthens posture, but also brings peace of mind. It's a practice so powerful, it's been used by monks for centuries. The next movement takes posture to the next level of core strength and inner calm. It's called Zazen, or seated meditation. If Seiza resets your posture, Then Zazen takes it to a whole new level. The word literally means seated meditation, but don't let the name fool you. This isn't just about sitting still. Zazen is a centuries-old practice from Zen Buddhism that quietly builds some of the deepest strength your body will ever need. Monks in Japan have practiced Zazen for hours every single day, not just for spiritual focus, but because the posture itself demands physical discipline. Imagine sitting cross-legged on the floor, your back completely upright, shoulders relaxed, chin tucked slightly as if a string were pulling the top of your head toward the sky. No slouching, no leaning, just pure alignment. At first it sounds simple, but hold it for even 5 minutes and you'll quickly realize this is one of the most powerful core exercises you'll ever try. Here's why. Most common core workouts only target the surface muscles, the six-pack abs that look good but don't do much for daily life. Zazen bypasses those and goes straight to the deep stabilizers of the spine, the transverse abdominis, the multifidus, and other tiny muscles that literally keep you standing tall. These are the muscles that determine whether you rise from a chair with ease or struggle, whether your back stays healthy or constantly aches. And that's not all. Holding Zazen while breathing deeply actually triggers your parasympathetic nervous system, the part of your body that lowers stress, reduces cortisol, and promotes healing. In other words, while your core is quietly firing to keep your spine steady, your mind is calming, your heart rate is slowing, and your body is regenerating on a cellular level. That's why so many studies link regular meditation to not just mental health, but physical longevity. The beauty of Zazen is that it's endlessly adaptable. If sitting cross-legged is uncomfortable, place a firm cushion under your hips to elevate your pelvis slightly. This makes it easier for your spine to stay tall. If your hips are tight, a simple cross-legged position works just as well. You don't need to force yourself into lotus pose. What matters isn't how your legs look, but how aligned your spine feels. Start with just 5 to 10 minutes, focusing on your breathing and posture. Over time, gradually increase to 20 minutes daily, and you'll notice your hips opening, your back pain decreasing, and your posture improving without conscious effort. What begins as meditation transforms into one of the most powerful anti-aging practices available. No equipment, no gym, no strain. Think about this for a moment. While the rest of the world turns to pills, gadgets, and back braces, Japanese monks have been sitting in Zazen for centuries, naturally building the kind of strength and calm that modern science is only beginning to understand. But the Japanese don't stop at calmness and core strength. Once the posture and balance are restored, they turn to something even more demanding, an ancient stance used by samurai to build explosive leg power and unshakable stability. This next move may be the toughest yet, but it's also the most rewarding. It's called Kibadachi, the horse riding stance. If Shikodachi gave you strength and Zazen gave you calm, then Kibadachi, the horse riding stance, combines both into raw, unshakable power. This posture comes straight from the training of samurai and karate masters, who needed to endure long battles with unwavering stability. It may look simple, but don't underestimate it. This stance can transform weak, stiff legs into pillars of strength. The name says it all. Imagine the position of riding a horse. Feet set wide apart, knees bent, hips dropped low. In Kibadachi, you're not just holding a position, you're building a fortress out of your lower body. Here's how to set it up. Place your feet parallel, about a shoulder width, plus an extra step apart. Bend your knees and sink your hips as if you're sitting in an invisible chair. Keep your chest open, your spine tall, and your weight evenly distributed across both legs. Your arms can rest naturally at your sides or raised in front for extra engagement. Now, the challenge begins. Unlike many exercises that let stronger muscles take over, Kibadachi forces every major muscle in your legs to work together: the quadriceps in the front, the adductors and abductors on the sides, the glutes in the back, and the stabilizers deep in your hips. This combination builds not only strength, but lateral stability, something most workouts completely ignore. And that lateral stability is priceless. It's what keeps you steady when you slip on wet ground, recover from a misstep, or pivot suddenly to catch yourself. In fact, biomechanical studies show that Kibadachi improves proprioception, your body's ability to sense where it is in space. This awareness alone can cut fall risk dramatically, giving you confidence in every step. At first, you may only manage 20 to 30 seconds. That's perfectly fine. 3 short sets with rest in between are enough to begin. As you improve, stretch to a minute, then 2. In traditional karate dojos, masters hold this stance for 5 minutes or more, their legs trembling yet unyielding. But remember, you're not training for battle, you're training for life. Even 1 minute in Kibadachi can add stability and strength that carry into everything you do. But here's the real beauty. Kibadachi doesn't just build muscles, it realigns your joints. By training the knees and hips to track properly over the feet, it reduces strain, prevents collapse, and protects against the joint pains so many people accept as normal aging. Of course, it's demanding. Your thighs will burn, your hips will shake, and your body will beg you to stand up. But every second you hold is a signal to your body, I am strong, I am stable, I am not declining. That's why Japanese martial artists have sworn by this stance for generations. And just when you think you've reached your limit, the Japanese add one final move, a modern integration that brings all the principles together: strength, balance, endurance, and posture. It's the wall squat, and it's the perfect test of everything you've built so far. You've built strength through shikodachi, balance with nekowashi-dachi, posture in seiza, calm power in zazen, and raw stability in kibadachi. Now comes the ultimate test, a movement that fuses ancient wisdom with modern sports science, the wall squat. Unlike the traditional stances rooted in martial arts and meditation, this posture gained popularity in Japan during the 1980s, when trainers began blending centuries-old practices with the latest biomechanical research. And the reason it has endured? Because the wall squat exposes exactly how much strength and endurance you've truly built. Here's how it works. Stand with your back flat against a wall, feet about a foot away, shoulder width apart. Slowly slide down until your knees form a perfect 90-degree angle, as if you're sitting in a chair that isn't there. Keep your knees stacked directly over your ankles, not drifting forward over your toes, and let your back press firmly against the wall. The moment you settle in, you'll feel it. Your quadriceps light up, your glutes engage, your hamstrings tighten, and your core braces to hold the position. Unlike dynamic squats where the tension comes and goes, the wall squat is pure isometric strength. Every muscle locked in, firing continuously. And that constant tension brings powerful benefits. Studies show that wall sits increase muscle endurance, circulation, and joint stability all at once. They recruit the slow-twitch muscle fibers that protect posture and balance, the exact fibers most people lose as they age. They also stimulate blood flow through the legs, helping prevent stiffness and even protecting bone density against osteoporosis. At first, even 30 seconds will feel brutal. Your thighs will shake, your breath will quicken, and your mind will want to quit. But hold on, because every extra second you last is proof that your body's adapting, getting stronger, more resilient, more alive. Over time, you'll build up to 2 or 3 minutes, and that's when the transformation really begins. Japanese trainers often add one clever twist, placing a small ball or cushion between the knees and gently pressing inward. This extra detail lights up the inner thigh muscles, the adductors, that most exercises completely ignore. It not only strengthens the legs further, but also improves knee alignment, protecting the joints long term. And here's what makes the wall squat the perfect finale. It doesn't just test your legs, it tests your mind. Your body will beg you to stand, but your mind decides whether you hold. In that struggle, you unlock both physical and mental toughness, the same resilience that has kept Japanese elders thriving for decades. This is the integration of everything you've learned: strength, balance, endurance, and posture, all working together in one simple yet devastatingly effective hold. Once you can master this, you know your body's moving in the right direction. The Japanese secret isn't another exercise. It's a 15-minute routine that fits into daily life and changes the way you age. You've already seen the 6 movements. The key is consistency. Just like millions in Japan still do every morning, it's about rhythm, not intensity. No gym, no equipment, just a simple system. In the morning, 30 seconds seiza to reset your spine. 1 minute zazen to engage your core. 30 seconds nekowashi-dachi per side to wake up balance. That's only 2.5 minutes and your body already feels different. At night, 1 minute shikodachi to open the hips. 1 minute kibadachi to fire up your foundation. 2 minute wall squat to finish strong. Just 4 minutes, closing your day with power. Together, 15 minutes total. That's how Japanese elders stay strong into their 80s and 90s. Start small, just learn the postures. Over time, add seconds, close your eyes, or flow between moves. That's Kaizen. Small improvements that transform your life. Aging doesn't take independence overnight. It creeps in, but 15 minutes a day puts you on a different path, one of strength, balance, and vitality. So the choice is yours. keep moving, and subscribe so you never miss what's next. Watch this video to build muscle with only bodyweight exercise.